Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of the Football Commentaries Podcast. We're nearly at double figures. It's really exciting times. I am only joined by one person today, and it's the original guest that we had on the first one. It is Harvey. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
We are back, and we're going to do a Premier League greatest starting 11, as you can tell by the writing on that side. There, see it? Goalkeeper to striker to left wing. So you know who we pick if you just want to skip through the podcast. But don't do that, because we're interesting. And you want to know why we pick the players. Before the podcast, I think it was 2 days ago, I did some research on the players, and I've already got options that we're going to go through and decide and, debate some of them depending on opinions, but we might agree on every single one. So we don't know. So I have got selections pre-picked for us. So we're not going to be sat here like, any left backs we can remember, because I've already got them written down. So we don't have to worry about any of that. While you're all here, hopefully at the start of it still, please subscribe and please, during these times of no commentaries. What this channel is based off, and I can't even do that, so please subscribe, that would help. There has been talks of the Premier League and the Bundesliga and loads of leagues returning soon, so if they're televised, even with no fans, I'll just commentate on them, see what happens, even if it is Bundesliga and it's, I don't even know, Stuttgart, Köln, I'll commentate on them, it's fine. Anything, give me anything, and I'll commentate on it.
It's football. As long as it's football.
It is just football. So we're going to get into it, and as well the scheduling for the podcast have kind of gone out the window. So make sure you have the notifications on, because it used to be Monday, Thursday, and now it's like Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. We've gone this on Friday. It's probably got Saturday. So we just don't know. Right, let's get started, because we could be here for a little while. Goalkeepers. There's only one of these goalkeepers that we would have watched during our lifetimes of watching football, but the other two we do know of, and I think probably one of them will actually make it into the team, which is quite funny. So I'll go through them quickly. We have got Peter Schmeichel, David Seaman, and Edwin van der Sar. So I picked 3. They're the 3 I've gone for as the picks. I'm going to just do a few stats quickly, because I'd spent a lot of time on these, so I want to use as many as possible. Schmeichel, 310 appearances, 128 clean sheets, 1 goal, and he scored it while he was at Aston Villa. None of the other keepers have scored a goal. I think that's quite impressive. And then 3 assists as well. And he actually got, and I think he's the only keeper, he was the first keeper to win this award, but I don't know if he's the only keeper who's won it since. I think he's the only one who actually won Player of the Season in 95-96. So we know PFA Player of the Year, Schmeichel actually won that, which I think's crazy. In that season, half of the games he played, he kept clean sheets. 36 appearances, 18 clean sheets. That is mad. To keep a clean sheet every 2 games, that is just unheard of. So and also 5 Premier Leagues he won at United, and he was also part of the treble winning side, who obviously won the Champions League in dramatic fashion, and his well-known celebration at the end with his cartwheels and all that. Seaman, 344 appearances, so a few more than Schmeichel, 141 clean sheets, 4 assists as well. He's had a Player of the Month, 2 Premier Leagues, was not part of the Invincible team though, keep that in mind, just before that. Obviously still a fantastic goalkeeper. And then the one we would have seen, Edwin van der Sar, 313 appearances, 132 clean sheets, 1 Golden Glove in 08-09, 4 Premier Leagues, won the Champions League. Actually started his career off at Fulham, where he played 127 Premier League appearances for them before going to United. So he's been in both boats of Fulham and a club like United. So I think straight away the thing I look at is Premier Leagues. How many they've won?
Yeah.
Because it is the greatest Premier League starting 11, so that would make sense. Obviously, Schmeichel, I never saw play. I've seen loads of highlights of him and his saves and who he is as a person. But you know, five Premier Leagues, and you've got to remember they were back to back, 92 to 94, and then they won. They missed a year, won it the next year after that, and then did back to back again, missed a year, and then won it again. So in the space of 7 years, he won 5 Premier Leagues or 7 seasons, which is incredible. I'm presuming, as you're a United fan, you probably know better than me, but he's got to go down as probably the best keeper for United for sure.
Yeah, completely. We've had some good keepers over the last few years, but Schmeichel is just something else.
Yeah, he was a monster. Like he comes across to me as a keeper, like as a striker who you'd be scared of. Like he would look into your eyes and let you know he's there, and you kind of see aspects of his game in Kasper Schmeichel's game now. Like some of like the saves he does, it was very similar. So Schmeichel's the first one, and as well, I don't want to dwell too much on the keepers as well because I kind of know who's going to win this one, if I'm going to be honest. But we'll go for them all anyway. David Seaman, obviously, he was England's number 1. Obviously, made that mistake in the World Cup, I think it was. I think it was 0-2 against Brazil. Ronaldinho's free kick. That's kind of the one mistake he kind of made that he's known for. Again, I didn't see him play much. He did play for City near the end of his career. Spent 1 year there, 10 years at Arsenal, 2 Premier Leagues. It's not as many Premier Leagues, but obviously more clean sheets. Again, a fantastic goalkeeper. And then Van der Sar, 4 Premier Leagues, and more than Seaman. Just less clean sheets by 9. And then, and a Golden Glove, which I don't think was a thing back then. So Seaman and Schmeichel didn't get one of them. Because I'm presuming Schmeichel would have won it for that season where he got 18 in 30 Premier League games, which is just stupid. We'll just pass this quickly because again we don't know many of these players in terms of watch them. My vote is going to have to be Schmeichel. Straight away.
Same.
Just for the fact that he's won the most Premier Leagues, he was part of that treble-winning squad. Kind of developed how keepers played in terms of actually using their feet a little bit and just being that monster in net. So Peter Schmeichel makes it as our goalkeeper. Gonna just put him in now, just quickly. I think that was an easy one, to be honest. Obviously, 2 other great goalkeepers in Seaman and Van der Sar, but you can't really compare them to Schmeichel if you think about it. So
18 clean sheets in 36 games.
That's mental. Obviously, you get a few better these days, but the fact that back then football isn't like it is now. It was more kind of just it's just hard. It was harder to defend really, and then him just doing that is just insane. Obviously, foreign keeper as well is English, so came into the game and changed it, which is a big, props to him for changing the way goalkeeping was, and he wasn't even English. Brought it from overseas. So Schmeichel makes it quite clearly. I think. We'll move on to right backs again. We'll definitely know 2 of them. We wouldn't have watched one of them, and I don't think he'll make it in. But he was part of a top 5 right backs kind of list that I came up with, and that I saw on. That's what a lot of them are for. These picks, I've actually got them off tier list that other people have made, and made judgments of my own. So so right backs we've got Gary Neville, and number 2 for the right backs we've actually got Lee Dixon. You might know him more on being on ITV for the England games. He's on there quite a lot. And number 3, Pablo Zabaleta has made it at one of the right back spots as well. Again, I'll whittle down the stats, and I think when I read the stats out, we might have a clear winner already. But I'll just go through it quickly. Gary Neville, 400 Premier League appearances, 5 goals, 35 assists, 148 clean sheets, 8 Premier Leagues, 8. Ridiculous. Wow. 95 to 96, 96 to 97, 98 to 99, 99 to 2000, 2000 to 01, and then I actually had quite a big gap here from 01 where the last won the league to 06, 07. So that's 5, 6 year season, 5, 6 year gap of not winning the league, and then 07, 08 won it. 08, 09 was the last one, so he won one after. So that's just incredible. Lee Dixon, 305 appearances, 9 goals, 19 assists, 114 clean sheets, and 2 Premier Leagues. Again, wasn't part of the Invincibles, just missed out. And then Pablo Zabaleta, 300 appearances, 9 goals, 21 assists, 86 clean sheets, and 2 Premier Leagues. Just want to start off with Gary Neville first of all. 8 Premier Leagues is insane. But the thing is, what I find with Gary Neville and all, this is how a lot of people describe him as. He wasn't the best footballer, but his determination and his just willingness to play well and try and do his best made him the player he was.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of makes him more impressive in a way.
Yeah.
The fact that he actually wasn't the greatest of players, but, did everything he could for a team. So, the one we know is Zabaleta. Obviously came to the Premier League unknown, and obviously the money came in and City rose to the top. He was part of that winning side on the last day. QPR actually scored one of the goals. One of the 9 he did score in the Premier League for City, kind of the forgotten goal. Fantastic fullback. You probably won't make it. But I feel like from what he was and what he came as to the Premier League to what he left as, or still is now, and the peak he got to, I think, he was just a fantastic player for City. And, the fact that he lasted so long, he was one of the last ones to leave of that core squad when Guardiola came in, kind of says a lot about him and, the player he was. So I think, and then obviously Lee Dixon was fantastic, part of that fantastic defence. Like Lee Dixon, Keown, so many other centre backs. Campbell got there in the end as well. Ashley Cole was coming through. Obviously Seaman, as we've mentioned. Again, only 2 Premier Leagues, but that was like, I remember because I've been watching like Match of Their Day where they go back to old games. They've said, and obviously on the podcast they do as well, like that Arsenal backline from 95 to 05 was like one of the most feared defences.
Yeah,
it's like you just would not want to mess with that at all. Like you just wouldn't. So again, I was like these goalkeepers and fullbacks, the ones we haven't seen. I just want to get through quickly because I don't want this podcast to go on for too long. Because if we go through every single player, highlight everything they did, we'd be here all day. And I don't want to do that. I just want to get to like the ones that we know and the ones that will cause better conversation. So I'll vote Gary Neville, as much as it hates to go against Zabaleta. What a legend!
Yeah.
But I think Gary Neville's a 1, isn't he? Surely.
Yeah.
Could improve his commentating at times, but that's just a slight thing I'd have a go at him for. So we'll put him in now. Sometimes he's great, and then he comes out with the most random things, and you're just like, why are you saying that?
Poppered on wrist, was it something like that?
And then you must have seen it, when Fernando Torres scored for Chelsea.
Against Barcelona.
What's he doing? I'm like, please subscribe to me because you will not get that kind of noise coming out of my mouth anytime. So if you have not seen it, please put it in. You might have seen it recently on social media because that was like the anniversary of that goal. And then just put in, I think it's like Barcelona, Chelsea, Torres goal, and it'll come up. His commentary mad on it. We'll do left back. We'll leave the centre backs.
Okay.
We'll go to left back first, and then we'll go back to centre backs. Left backs. We'll know 2 of these again. We won't really know one of them. This is the only problem. We're just not on to know all these. But we've got Ashley Cole, Patrice Evra, who obviously you'll know very well, and Dennis Irwin as well, United legend. My dad goes on about him a lot and how good he was. So he probably won't make it, but I thought he definitely, and with his stats, some of his stats, he needs to make it for sure. So again, we'll go through them quickly. Ashley Cole, 385 appearances, 15 goals, 31 assists, 148 clean sheets. Obviously, Champions League winner with Chelsea in that historic win at at Bayern Munich, beating them in their own backyard. Part of the invincible team as well. You know, that I feel like if you're part of that invincible team, you've got such a strong argument to be in this team.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on your name, obviously you can have like the backup keeper. Obviously, they won't make it. Well, I mean, the fact that you're an invincible, I think that straight away that's like a top argument to have.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Evra, 278 appearances, 7 goals, 21 assists, 98 clean sheets, 5 Premier Leagues. To be fair to him, won the Champions League as well with United against Chelsea in that All-English final 2008. Obviously he finished at West Ham and Marseille. Things went on. His Instagram's a bit mad as well. Fantastic left back. And then obviously Dennis Irwin, he's got a good shout with these stats. 328 appearances, 18 goals, 25 assists, 123 clean sheets. Champions League winner. 7 Premier Leagues as well. 7.
Wow.
That goes from 1992 to 2001, where he won his last. I watched that with Ashley Cole. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen quite a few edits on Instagram where he's many times he actually totally took Ronaldo out of a game.
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
if you've
seen
seen
it.
them. Have you seen?
Yeah,
Oh my days! What a monster!
That was very good.
I just obviously that's not the whole game, but I mean just his pace, his power, his slide tackles. I was just watching him how is he doing this to one of the best wingers to ever play the game? And he's just darting about, slide tackling him like it's absolutely nothing. I just he must have been so good. We saw him at his end of his career. 3 Premier Leagues and invincible again. An invincible. No one else can say that. Not even Liverpool players can say that. Obviously, if we were to pick 5 in every position, obviously Robertson probably would have made it in. Other left backs, but when you've got to cut it down to so few players, it's very hard. Evra, obviously you watched him play a little bit. How would you describe Evra as a player? Because for me, he just comes across as quite a passionate character.
Yeah.
Kind of give everything.
Yeah, he was the type that, say if he did lose the ball, get back, he'd put the tackles in when he could. He'd put everything on the line in a way.
Yeah. And I think the way he dealt with Suarez, we all know what happened. I don't want to say anything, but when United beat Liverpool, and then he celebrated in front of the United fans when Suarez was walking past. I thought that was just honestly that was one of the best. I'm not a United fan, and I'm definitely not a Liverpool fan, but when that happened, I thought that was top by Evra. Also, United captain as well at times. Well, Evra, that's another point. But I feel like Cole gives himself an advantage straight away because he did it with Arsenal, he did it with Chelsea, and he gets labelled as the best fullback by so many people, the best left back we've ever seen. Yeah. Arsenal fans say he's the best left back for them, and obviously they don't like him very much because obviously the switch he made to Chelsea. But again, I don't want to waste too much time on the left back when we don't know too much about them. Obviously, we can't just do the best midfielders and strikers because that won't make sense. We might as well do the whole squad. So my vote is going to be Ash Cole. I don't know if you've going to disagree with that.
Yeah, I go with Cole. I think Evra was good, but Cole was just.
I think it's just level above.
Something else. Yeah.
Obviously, Dennis Irwin, great shout, 7 Premier League. I feel like if we knew him as a player better and we watched him a bit more, he could have easily probably got in there. And I don't want a full United 11. So, Cole makes it. Ashley Cole gets in. And, when he's getting labelled as one of the best left-backs by so many pundits I've heard, he's got to make it. It'd be disrespectful if he didn't put him in. Right, centre-backs. This should be more interesting now. We're getting to the better players. No offence to full-backs. The more interesting players, I'd say. Because you've got centre-backs and they're just a bit off their head, some of them. So we'll go through them now. This was very tough. Getting 5 centre-backs. Because it'll be hard enough picking 2 without the 5. But just to whittle it down to 5. Yeah. Honestly, the options I had was, I had a few options. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll go through them now. There's some that that you listen and you go, how has he not made it even into the top 5? But I had to cut it down, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
So 1, John Terry. 2, Rio Ferdinand. 3, Sol Campbell. 4, Nemanja Vidic. And 5, Vincent Kompany. Yes, no Van Dijk. I'll explain soon. I kind of want more of a discussion with this. I won't just go through the stats and pick the best. I kind of want to discuss a few of them.
Yeah.
John Terry, 5 Premier Leagues, one of the best captains in the Premier League. Obviously, I remember him more for the slip against United in the shootout of the Champions League. I find that very funny still, because I was watching the highlights of that and I didn't realise that was the winning penalty.
Yeah.
That goes in, they win it. And then he slips and puts it wide. Oh, what a joke. But John Terry, though, I mean, tall, strong. Maybe not the quickest, you could say. But, in terms of a leader and, staying at a club for 492 appearances, wow. just crazy. Rio Ferdinand as well. 6 Premier Leagues. Was part of the United team who won that Champions League final against Chelsea. Obviously, he's more known for someone else on this list, being linked with Vidic as well. I don't know if you've seen, at games with them and old games, but them two, Ferdinand and Vidic, are they probably one of the best centre back pairings United have ever had?
Yeah,
you could say.
I'd agree. Yeah, I think so.
What is it? What was it about them two together that was so good? Because obviously they're 2 good centre backs on their own, but sometimes that doesn't work. Just having 2 good centre backs.
Yeah, I think they were so good together. I think they put everything on the line. They'd do anything. They were physically strong. They'd go for every ball.
Yeah.
Especially Vidic.
Yeah.
He will go for everything, and I think when both of them are doing that, it just makes them unstoppable.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, because Vidic was just mental. So it's like the quote anyway, he'd rather get a broken nose than let someone score, because a broken nose can be fixed. Conceding the goal can't.
Yeah.
Which I think having that mentality is just mad, and obviously great. Is to have that centre back in your team, knowing that they'll literally put their body on the line. You say that figuratively.
Yeah.
But for him to actually, have suffered quite a few broken noses in his career, I think just a warrior, really. That's what I'd say. Sol Campbell's in there because he's had 503 appearances, 2 Premier Leagues, part of the Invincibles, 3 FA Cups. Obviously, made the switch from Spurs to Arsenal. He must have some balls on him.
Yeah.
To do that switch, because that's just mental. I remember I was watching this video a few days ago on Instagram about the switch, and they described that transfer as Sol Campbell selling his soul, which,
wow,
when you put it like that that has some meaning to it. That saying that he sold his soul from that move is just ridiculous. Kind of sidetracking from a serious note. Have you seen that video of Sol Campbell's tackle against, I think, Croatia, where he does a slide tackle and he slides off the pitch? I'm sorry, I had to mention it because he was in this list. What a tackle, by the way! Oh my day, he slid. He just didn't stop. He just kept going. I thought it was well. I thought that had to be mentioned. But again, part of the Invincibles, straight argument to be in there. That's just unheard of. Not losing a game. To be able to do that, you must be defensively so solid at the back. It's when going invincible, you can when you had an attack like Arsenal's back then, you could literally score goals for days. It was the conceding that they had to make sure they didn't do, and clearly they obviously didn't concede many goals, and that's why they went unbeaten. So I feel like Sol Campbell again, straight argument to get in there. Company got in there ahead of Van Dijk in terms of the top 5 because firstly, bit of bias, he came in. Secondly, Company was around for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And thirdly, he won. Obviously, when Van Dijk finished his career, and then we compare the two, then maybe as a shout, Company will always be one of the greatest ever centre back. I don't even care what he went from. He came to 2008 before the takeover. I think just at the cusp of the takeover, came in as a central midfielder, adapted to a centre back, became the captain, won everything. I just literally in Manchester and in City, he is like literally the biggest legend of the club ever. I'm not just saying this is like to gas him up or anything, but I mean literally he is seen as like a god at the club. Like there's some of this, like obviously take away the goals he scored, like the Leicester goal, the United goal, take away all that. He just represented what City and City fans are about. You know, that tough, like just if you just give us 110%, we and we lose, we can't ask for much more. And he just wore his heart on his sleeve. You know, passion. You know, one of the best captains in the Premier League, got on the top 10 for that match of the day thing. For me, I think he's a little underrated, personally. Like you're comparing the career of Company in the Premier League to Van Dijk already. It's like, come on, man. Like, I know Company had injuries, man, but you know,
I think. Mental. You see, I think, say if Company, for example, say if he won a champ, I think he would be seen a bit more like, wow, one of the. I mean, I'm not saying he's not the best, but I think if he would have won more, people would have, in a way, brought it up more. I think because he didn't win a Champions League, I think people kind of take that as a negative and take that away from his ability and what he's actually done.
Yeah, because you can't say he didn't win much. Because again, this is such. You know, when I was researching this, I actually was quite shocked by this. In that 2011-12 season where we won the league, he won Player of the Year. So like Aguero didn't win it, Van Persie didn't win it because Van Persie scored 30 goals that season, by the way, 30. No, centre back Company won it straight away. To win it in that season where there were so many better attacking players, because the attacking players always looked like better as. To win Player of the Year, to win 4 Premier Leagues, 4. I think how many? I don't even know how many FA Cups. Like, I think 2 FA Cups, 4, 5 League Cups. Obviously, that Champions League is missing, which is a massive shame. Because obviously, City fans, we thought he was going to stay for an extra year after last season. But you know, when you win a quadruple, I know that counts as Community Shield, but take away that, you know, domestic treble, that is kind of a good way to, you know, say goodbye. We're gonna try and pick 2 centre backs now. I don't even know who to put in first. Anyone in particular you think should go in there straight away? Anyone?
I don't want to be biased, but I put Vidic in.
Vidic?
Yeah. I just think Vidic was unbelievable, I think. But then
I agree with that.
It's leaving out another great defender. It's who do you choose?
The only argument I have towards that, and this will kind of bite Company on his backside a little bit. John Terry, 492 appearances. Ferdinand, 504. Sol Campbell, 503. Vidic, 211. Company, 265. So, in terms of appearances, Vidic wasn't around for as long, but argument against that, 5 Premier Leagues, you know, two Player of the Seasons as well, which again is ridiculous. You know, I can't. I'm struggling to kind of debate that in a way, and then because for me, I think in terms of, you know, the Premier Leagues, yeah, he won 5 Premier Leagues. John Terry, the captain he was, how long he was at Chelsea for, he pretty much won everything. Won the Europa League, Champions League, FA FA Cup, League. He won everything.
Yeah,
So for me,
I completely forgot about John Terry.
So I feel like if John Terry goes in, I feel.
Yeah.
And then it's, for me, out of either Ferdinand or Vidic for that second spot. That pains me to say because I feel like Company really should have a shout in this. But
yeah,
I'm just going to put John Terry in because I do feel like he has to be in, like, for what he's won.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but no matter what argument you said towards Terry, he was getting in. As much as he's like, I'm not a fan of Chelsea players, you know, he has to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know about the second centre-back, you know. I feel like Ferdinand, you know, 6 Prems, Champions League, Player of the Month, that doesn't really mean much. 504 appearances, played for West Ham as well. But then Vidic, same time, 2 Player of the Years. You know, I don't know. 5 Premier Leagues to his name as well, Vidic. 15 goals. How many goals did Ferdinand get? He got 11. God, I don't... And then he got Sol Campbell again, Invincible. 503 appearances, 3 FA Cups, 2 Premier Leagues. I really do not know.
I mean, if you want, I'd put Company in there because
it's not even that. It's not even like I'm gravitating more towards Company. I'm gravitating more towards Ferdinand, which again I don't like to say because we are currently got a Chelsea United 11/Arsenal 11, and I'm not liking it. And then, but for me, Company and like how he came up as a player and how he improved and how he pretty much is the figure of City. And like, this is like when like new players come in, especially when new centre backs now come in for City, we will compare that centre back to is he as good as Company. And then 4 Prems, you know. Sorry, I just hit my mic. Sorry if that hurt. Any headphone users. You know what? I'm gonna have to do because and as well, I feel like not many of the City players will get into this. I'm voting Company. I don't care.
Yeah.
We'll have a subs bench.
Right.
And we can Vidic and Ferdinand can sit nicely in there if they want. Are you alright with going with Company?
Yeah,
Even
that's
though
fine.
you're more unlikely to go with Vidic if it was your own.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree. I agree with Company.
I just feel like what he brought to a city and a group of fans, and what he won, and what he was a part of, and how long he was there for, it's hard for me to say no to that. But don't get me wrong, like that was almost like a coin flip decision, Vidic or Company. You know what I mean? It's like and then obviously Ferdinand, but so Campbell. I don't know. We're moving on from centre backs. We're moving on.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. If you're watching this and you're still listening, put yours in the comments, please. Do your own. From the ones I've said, like the plays I've given, or if you've got any others that haven't been mentioned by the end, make your own. I really want to know who makes your team. Right, we've got 2 United, 2 Chelsea, 1 City, and half of an Arsenal as well because Cole played for Arsenal as well. Probably, and this is from like a top 10 tier list, and I'm gonna describe why certain players aren't in this. We're gonna move on to central midfielders, which may be the hardest. This obviously includes like holding midfielders, centre attacking, basically midfielders, but they're labelled as centre mids. So I've had to pick 5. So here we go: Roy Keane, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, Patrick Vieira. They are the 5 we have gone with. Any of them 5 stand out to you straight away? From the off.
I think Gerrard, Lampard, and then I think Scholes.
Oh, that England midfield that we once had, and then Sven-Göran Eriksson decides to put Scholes right mid or left mid. Like, just think about it. Yeah, that was a midfield we had
Yeah.
We had that midfield. Why is he playing a 4-4-2 and sticking Scholes out wide? I can't go over that. What gravitated you towards like Gerrard? Say, why did Gerrard come into your head?
I think he was such a leader for Liverpool. I think he was one of the best midfielders Liverpool have ever had.
Yeah,
He's in a way, he was the face of Liverpool. People were playing Liverpool and they'd see Gerrard and they'd be scared because of how much he meant to Liverpool and the things he's won with Liverpool, part of that Istanbul game. Won the FA Cup goal against West Ham.
Yes.
That was a brilliant goal.
Yeah, last minute as well.
He's had a great career.
Yeah. The way he said he's like the face of Liverpool, that's similar to like Company for City.
Yeah, completely.
Kind of that. The only argument I would have, and it's kind of a bad argument to put onto you because there's not much reply. There is, but he didn't win a Premier League.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't laugh because it probably still kills him to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But that slip.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh my word! Like, I'm sorry, like I could watch that all day, and still laugh as hard each time. Would that be a reason why he might not make this team? Just for the fact he didn't win it, because it is the greatest ever Premier League starting 11.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think if you're thinking about the greatest Premier League 11, I think if they have won a Premier League, someone hasn't, I think that gives them an advantage over the other players already.
Yeah.
So I think it is a shout.
But I totally I understand why you've put him in there. 120 goals, Champions League, like you said. Just 6 Player of the Month, which is a lot to win in a career. I know his was quite long. Obviously, Liverpool captain. So nearly got into a Premier League, but didn't. Which is the main thing we need to take out of that. He didn't. I feel like with Gerrard is, I kind of think he is a little bit overshadowed by the fact he didn't win a Prem. I feel like he needs to be more appreciated, like you're saying, for the player he was. Because the thing is with Gerrard, I don't know if you agree with me, sometimes during certain years he didn't actually have the players to do so.
Yeah, completely.
Literally, like he was for a lot of time like a one-man team in a way.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got players like the Scholes, the Lampards, the Keanes, the Vieiras, who were always surrounded by the best.
Yeah.
Where like that Champions League team, let's be honest, when they won it against AC Milan, that's not the greatest team ever. That Liverpool team.
Yeah.
Some of those players in that starting 11 and on the subs for Liverpool, if you told some 12 to 15-year-old Liverpool fans, they would not know who some of them were.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So that's got to be some respect as well. Like sometimes some of the Liverpool teams he were in were shocking. Which he had a chance to move. I watched a documentary on Amazon. I think it was about a year or two ago now, where he had a chance to move to Chelsea. Didn't. Do you feel like if he'd moved to Chelsea and he would have won a Prem, do you feel like he would have had a little bit more respect on his name as a player, or just the fact that he actually stayed gives him more respect in that aspect, or do you think he was wrong not to move to Chelsea?
I think it kind of balanced itself out. I think if he would have moved to Chelsea, he would have, I think he would have almost certainly won a Premier League.
Yeah,
but I think the fact that he stuck with his boyhood team, no matter through thick and thin, until he pretty much finished his career.
Yeah.
I think that shows what a player he is and how dedicated he is.
Yeah, because obviously there was this massive debate, during when they were like at their prime with like Gerrard, Lampard, and obviously I feel like, I know we haven't even made a decision, but I feel like Lampard, like you said, has to get in there, just for the fact he was the top midfield scoring Premier League player. Like, I know he's played 609 games, but to score 177 goals from a midfield position Again,
Yeah,
captain. Again, won the Champions League, FA Cups, Premier Leagues. That's just a remarkable, achievement to have labelled to you.
Yeah.
He just had everything. Like in terms of like kind of fox in the box kind of player. Then he could literally score from about 40 yards out, and he just had everything. Lampard free kicks. I like you like the midfield. You said that was how England did not win anything during that like 02 World Cup and 06 Euros. It's beyond me. I don't understand it. Like, imagine that midfield now. We had that midfield now. Like,
we would have.
we would have smashed the World Cup last year.
Yeah.
Smashed it. And then we've got, again, Roy Keane. We've not even mentioned him yet.
Yeah.
7 Premier Leagues. Captain for United. In the treble side.
Yeah.
He in that podcast, that Match of the Day, he was ranked number 1 of greatest ever captains. So you've got that aspect of it, and just how much of a good player he was. The only reason why I would not put Roy Keane in this team, and again, it's not because he's a United player, he was just too dirty for me, personally.
I completely. I was going to say the only downside is that he was part of that '99 team, but he didn't play in the final because he got sent off in the semi-final.
Oh, what a point! Yeah.
So I think the fact that yes, his aggression is a huge factor. I think it's just if he would have used that and not got as many red cards and used it in a good way instead of completely snapping Haaland, is it his dad? He played for City in his career.
Yeah.
It's silly, but it's who he is.
Yeah, no, that again, that's who it was. Yeah, you're a United fan, so you know more than me. But yeah, he did miss that final, didn't he?
Yeah.
Against Juventus. I knew it was against Juventus. Picked up a booking.
Yeah.
Paul Scholes missed it as well. Paul Scholes also missed it. Picking a booking in Juventus. That's actually the only thing I'd have against Roy Keane. Just ending players' careers. For me, that's just a bit too far.
That's a step too far. Yeah.
Like, I'm all for aggression. Like, if you use it in the right way. But when you're getting the red cards you got and the bookings and, and as well, like, going into the final, missing a player like Roy Keane just because he got a second... It's not like he got a second booking. It's like he would have been told as well before, just don't get a booking.
Yeah.
And we'll be okay. That's the only reason I put against putting Roy Keane in, just for that fact.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Which, is unfortunate because I feel like if he was just a little bit like 7 Prems, part of that 99 team, for me, straight in the team. But, when you the way he was, just not my kind of player personally.
Yeah.
That's just me being a little bit harsh.
I agree. No, yeah, I agree.
And then we've got Patrick Vieira as well, we haven't even mentioned. 1 player of the season, 2000 to 2001. So that's like, when I say player of the season, I mean they were like the PFA player of the year.
Yeah.
So they were the best of the best. Part of the Invincible. Obviously had that fantastic rivalry with Roy Keane himself. 31 goals, 307 appearances, 34 assists, 3 Prems. I feel like he's got to have a big shout, Patrick Vieira, for me.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of I don't know about you, but in terms of like the perfect midfielder, Vieira had everything.
Yeah, I was watching the Match of the Day top 10, and I think they've shown a clip of Vieira when he's picked it up in the middle, and he would just run through the fences. What a player!
Yeah, he kind of reminds me like of an old olden time. It wasn't that long ago. I just couldn't think of the words there. Of like a Yaya Toure. In terms of the way he ran through the fences, it was just like
I see it.
Pace, power, everything was just incredible. Part of the Arsene Wenger, era, kind of where he was, like peaked at the top. Again, Invincible again. That's crazy. And then Paul Scholes just missed out on 500 appearances. 11 Premier Leagues. 11. Again, ridiculous. 107 goals. I didn't actually realise he scored that many goals, to be fair to him.
That is a lot.
Treble winning team, so he gets a massive shout. So we've got to pick 3 midfielders out of the 4 we've got left in our, the ones we've ticked off.
Right.
Before we choose, I just want to say, players like, let me think at the top of my head now, if any come to your mind, just say them. De Bruyne, Yaya Toure, David Silva, I know these are all City, but
Henderson. Can you say Henderson?
Get out. Jordan Henderson, get out. You're not even good enough to get in the best Premier League team right now. Overrated. Like Xavi Alonso, he was in there as well. Kante. God, who else is he? Carrick, he could have a shout.
Oh yeah. Well, completely forgot that.
Who else was there? Who were the midfielders? I'm trying to think. Like Fabregas. You get what I mean? All those types of midfielders. Remember, I had to cut this down to 5. Say if this is like a TV production and all of that, and I had the stats given to me on cards, and
Yeah.
I would have gave us the option of about 10 midfielders, but I had to be really harsh and just cut like De Bruyne for me. I may have put him in there, and then I was looking at like ranks and like who put what where online, and these are the 5 I came up with. So if you think like De Bruyne should be in here, let me know, comment. So just before we make our decision, I had to cut from about 15 midfielders I had on my screen to 5. It's hard. These are the 5 I came up with. So, right, I'm gonna, because I like to make things easier. I want, if you want to agree with Frank Lampard in.
Yeah.
Top goal scorer, top goal scorer midfielder, won pretty much everything with Chelsea, Europa League, Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup. He won everything.
Yeah.
So he has to go in there. Harsh, but I just don't think Gerrard can make it.
Yeah,
I think for the fact he didn't win the Prem.
Yeah, I think if he would have won the Prem, then I think that's a huge more improvement of him getting in. But yeah, I agree.
Because I think, like you said, like I used to face the Liverpool, which I completely agree with. And you might be like, oh yeah, but you said that about Company. Company won 4 Premier Leagues.
Yeah.
Won Player of the Year in 2011-12. Went from a central midfielder to one of the best centre backs in the world at his prime. So difference, okay? So don't be commenting on all that. So that leaves us with Scholes and Vieira. So would you put them in? Or
yeah.
Are the ones left? Because for me, say when we do this in like 10 years' time, and like De Bruyne and all that, David Silva, all of them have gone, Kante, and their careers are finished, and we can look back on what they were. De Bruyne would get in here, but the fact that he hasn't been here long enough, and we haven't seen his full career like develop, and all that, that's why like De Bruyne and players like that didn't make it in. Like I said, like in 10 years' time, if we were to do this again, De Bruyne will be straight in.
Oh, completely.
There'd be so many other players who could get in here. So a harder one, but we've got there in the end. Again, you can agree with us, and you can disagree with us. Let us know. And then Paul Scholes and Patrick Vieira. I'll just put him in. I thing is, I spelled Vieira wrong yesterday. I think that's how you spell it. Because I forget there's a second I. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which I always forget. Well, you'll know because didn't you pack him on FIFA?
Yeah, I did.
I know that's really off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an I. I got it right. Okay. Right. Again, just to explain our reasoning why Roy Keane and Gerrard didn't make it. Gerrard didn't win a Prem. Respect him as a player, everything he did, Istanbul, Liverpool, all that. I just feel like if he got that move to Chelsea, he would be in there. But decided to be loyal, which it's his decision in the end. And then Roy Keane is just his disciplinary record, which wasn't, you can't. For me, you would play you can't really trust because he could just go any second.
Yeah, his head could completely go.
So that's why Raheem misses out for us. So far, I'm going to just say this to you, Harvey, the people can see it on the screen. Schmeichel, Gary Neville, John Terry, Vincent Kompany, Ashley Cole, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Patrick Vieira. That is the team we have so far. Right, we've got right wing and left wing. We've got 6 wingers. Again, there's a few plays I missed out on and I had to cut out. It's just the way it went. So, the 6, I'll whittle them down now. Ryan Giggs, Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, Robert Pires, Eden Hazard, and just got in by the skin of his teeth, Mohamed Salah. They are the 6 we have got. I'll ask you again, any jump to your head straight away? That should maybe get in there straight away, or maybe 2 or 3 that you think, or what are you thinking?
See, it's hard, but I think I think Giggs and Pires, I think them 2 jumped out for me.
And reasons? How come?
I think Pires for Arsenal. Was he part of that Invincible team?
He was.
Yeah.
He was part of the Invincible team.
I think the fact that he was part of that just gives him a huge shout. And then I just think he scored. I'm guessing he scored quite a few goals for Arsenal. He was in the front 3.
Yeah, Pires,
solid.
Henry, Bergkamp, Lundberg, who just missed out. Freddie Ljungberg just missed out. Yeah, he was part of that Invincible team. You know, I remember watching him and the flair he had, and his dribbling and his shooting, and I think of a massively underrated player in that Arsenal Invincible team, because obviously you're gonna have Bergkamp and Henry kind of being the main vocal point of that, but I think Pires does deserve recognition. So I'm surprised you picked him out, but no, I completely agree. Salah, I think again, like we just mentioned with the midfielders, I feel like if we did this again in like 10 years' time, he could easily have a better shout. But only 113 appearances. But I say that 113 appearances, 72 goals. What are your thoughts on Salah? What do you think of him as a player? How highly do you rate Mo Salah?
I rate him highly. I think sometimes I think if you take away Mane, I think Liverpool fans would look at Salah and be like, why is he scoring? And I think whether it was because he had such a good season last season, he set the bar high for himself.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not performed to that standard as well as he did last season.
I just think Mane's performed so well that the limelight's kind of been taken off Salah a little bit. It could be that as well.
Yeah.
Because you can't really say Salah's had a bad season. I don't think. I swear he's
no. Yeah, he has done well, but Mane has done really well. But there has been some opportunities where you will back Salah 9 times out of 10 to score, and he's missed the opportunities.
See, we're gonna look like we're gonna look like mugs here completely.
Oh no.
Mane scored 14 goals this season. Salah scored 16. And 6 assists.
Wow.
We need to put some respect on Salah's name this season. Like, he's actually like, I know everyone's been like going on about Mane, but he scored more goals and 1 less assist. And obviously that first season he had, but he scored, I think, like 32 goals in that season.
Yeah.
That is mad.
And the
That's mad.
Yeah.
First season back in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable for me. I feel like the fact that he hasn't, obviously he's only been in the Prem for, take away the Liverpool seasons because he wasn't the same player. I feel like take away them, those 3 seasons he's had, he's been unbelievable, but I feel like he just hasn't been here long enough to get in the greatest ever.
Yeah,
for me.
I agree.
But I mean, that 32 goal season was just unbelievable. Him, Mane, Firmino, Coutinho was in that team as well. Unbelievable. But I feel like he's just going to miss out, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Eden Hazard as well. 245 appearances, 85 goals, 54 assists. One Playmaker Award, most assists. That was an 18-19 season. 2 Premier Leagues, 1 Player of the Season, 14-15. Obviously, Eden Hazard, fantastic player. The only downfall, and I think he has this when it comes to a lot of debates in terms of like the greatest ever, is that one bad season he had. I don't know if you remember. I think it's 15-16. Where Chelsea finished 10th, and Hazard just could not score.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I think that argument just kills him off straight away.
Yeah. If you're gonna be in the best ever Premier League, you need to be having.
Which every season has to be consistently good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like. It's mental, but like you said, if you want to be in the greatest, all these players right now that I'm looking at that are in this team did not have one really bad, not had a season where they played really bad. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Kompany had his injuries, but he never played badly. Yeah. No one ever went, Kompany's lost it a little bit, or Kompany hasn't played well during his injuries. But Hazard, it was just that season. Obviously, I don't want that to take away everything he did in the other seasons.
Yeah.
But he literally he barely scored, he barely assisted, he barely played. A lot of the games he just went missing. He wasn't even there. But I feel I just on Hazard as well. Do you feel like at Real Madrid think he'll succeed at Real Madrid? Obviously he's injured. He got a really bad injury, which didn't really happen to Hazard in the Prem. But do you think he'll succeed at Real Madrid?
I think if he turns it around quickly, yeah, because I don't think he's had the best start for Real Madrid. I don't think he's been as big, had such a big impact as he would have liked to.
Yeah.
I think it could work out for him. I think he's just got to get back good enough, though. Get back, hit the ground running.
Yeah, he wasn't around for as long as some of the other players, but I mean he was a fantastic player. Some of the runs and the dribbles and the goals he scored was just unbelievable beyond so many extents. But I feel like that one season just kills him off to get in the greatest. So are we just going to let Hazard go just to make this easier? So we've got 4. Right, so the 4 we've got left, we can only pick 2. Giggs, Ronaldo, Beckham, Pires. How do we even begin trying to pick any? Giggs, second most appearances ever from any player in the Premier League. Obviously, that was only just overtaken by Gareth Barry a season or 2 ago. 109 goals, not too many goals, but 162 assists. This is a strong argument. 13 Premier Leagues. 13.
Oh wow,
that's ridiculous. Wow. That to anyone to do that is ridiculous. The appearances is one thing, but when you're winning 13 Premier Leagues, that's just something else, really.
Yeah.
And then I remember my dad not long ago, actually, this was only a week or 2 ago, he told me that he read this article that Ryan Giggs was actually labelled one of the most overrated ever Premier League players. And I'm firstly, we've seen his quality. Obviously, we never watched him live properly. Obviously, he's only his last years at United. But I mean, the fact that he was part of a squad that won 13 Premier Leagues is good enough in its own. The fact that he pretty much would have played nearly every single one of those Premier League games to a certain degree.
Yeah.
To get 632 appearances, you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
You're not going to get put in that United team like that, and the stature you were at that time, and the fact that you could have literally brought anyone in at that minute. He must have been doing something right. So to label him overrated, I think it's crazy.
That's harsh. Yeah.
I'm going to think of someone else who we can just take off, but this is really tough on this person. And
I think you could say the same argument for Beckham, but I think with Ronaldo, don't think he was at United for that many seasons compared to Pires.
No,
and Giggs.
but to be fair, Perez only has 2 more appearances than Ronaldo in the Premier League.
Never mind then.
Ronaldo, 196 appearances, 84 goals, 34 assists, 4 Player of the Months, 2 Player of the Seasons, 3 Premier Leagues. For me, like, I know he wasn't around the Premier League for long, but then this is kind of the disadvantage, like I'm saying with Salah and Hazard. We've seen what Ronaldo's become, and what I saw in the I'm sort of like, he is one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
For me, he has to make this team.
Yeah.
For me, because obviously, firstly, nearly 200 appearances. That's like 4 seasons he had.
Yeah.
He won 2 Player of the Seasons. He won 3 Premier Leagues. He scored, 84 goals. He got 4 Player of the Months. Has gone on to be one of the best players in the world. How many Ballon d'Ors has he won? 4? 5?
5. Yeah,
5 Ballon d'Ors. Imagine if we didn't put him in.
Yeah.
That's the one thing he has for him. Like, he's actually gone on and proved that, what he was in the Premier League. He's actually gone on and improved. So, for me, despite his longevity isn't there, I feel like Ronaldo has to be in. For me, I don't know if you want to agree or disagree, but I'm sorry, but if we're putting but in terms of like just to compare like Perez and Ronaldo, they have like similar appearances.
He won the Ballon d'Or at United as well.
Like Perez was a good player, wasn't he? But Ronaldo was just something else.
Ronaldo's different level, yeah.
So in terms of comparing, I feel like in terms of a similar amount of appearances, I feel like Ronaldo just makes it. I think.
Yeah.
We'll go with Ronaldo. Right. Ronaldo. Right. Okay. Left wing, because we'll put him right wing because that's where he played for United a lot of the time. For me, again, this is really harsh, and I feel really bad because an invincible. But I feel like Perez can't get in ahead of like Beckham and Giggs. When you just compare them, that like it's hard to, like as a player he was, but when you compare him to other players, Perez just isn't there, unfortunately for him.
I understand. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to choose between Giggs and Beckham. If you had to pick one, straight away, top of your head, who are you putting in?
Off the top of my head, I'd probably go Beckham. But then, I think the fact that he's gone on to do it in La Liga as well for Real Madrid, I think that adds to it as well. The fact that he's done it in multiple leagues, but then Giggs would have been able to do it in different leagues without a shadow of a doubt. Go
on, sorry.
It's just the fact that Giggs has played 600 games, 13 Premier Leagues.
13 Premier Leagues. Mad.
So
I get what you're saying with Beckham. You know what?
But then
it's just the 13 Premier Leagues. I can't get my head over that.
Yeah.
That's it. That literally. Say if Giggs had won like 10, or even that's still a mad number by the way. But 9 or 10, I'd kind of put Beckham in.
I think if we're looking at just say like the Premier League, I know we spoke about Ronaldo going on to do it in different leagues, but I think on like the Premier League between them two, I think 13 Premier Leagues is just it's something else.
But then in terms of quality of player, who was better? Because you could just say like Giggs was just trustworthy, but when you look at Beckham, he was just a better footballer. He
sent England to the
so like what again? If you haven't seen that, YouTube it. David Beckham goal against Greece. Like his set pieces, that link up he had with Gary Neville on the right. You know what? This is going to be my vote, and again, it's based on opinion.
I'll go with it.
I'm going Beckham. That's who I'd go with. I don't know if you want to agree.
Honestly, I can't. So I will go with Beckham.
Right, again. That's okay. I'm going to move Ronaldo to the left. We'll put Beckham on the right.
Right. Okay.
I'll do that. Okay. Right. Oh god, that was tough. I didn't like that.
Oh my god.
Beckham's in. still got the striker to go. Jeez. And then left wing Ronaldo. Right, got striker left. Giggs literally just misses out. I feel like mainly because I think David Beckham was just a better player than him, and I feel like Giggs was much more of like the basics right and was trustworthy. And he's got, I don't know, it's really tough. Like, try and do this yourself. It's just it's just another United player, isn't it? Oh god. Right, we've got to do the striker yet. Oh man. Oh right, this is going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough because we've only got to pick one striker. We can't pick two. We can't have like a 4-3-4. You know. Oh right, let's just get this going. We've got 5 strikers again. 1 Thierry Henry, 2 Alan Shearer, 3 Eric Cantona, 4 Sergio Aguero, and 5 Wayne Rooney.
This, in my opinion, there's no one there that you can, in a way, get rid of.
Yeah, innit? I mean, there's no cutting down of this. It's like all of them deserve to be in this team for their own different reasons. This completely. Is right. I want to disclaim this before we get into this because we won't spend too long on this because we could be here all day. This is so opinion based. This decision, depending on how you view these strikers, you could put any of these in, and I would go, fair enough. There's no one. If I say if you were to put any of these in, I wouldn't go, well, I'd go, you know what, I can't, argue that. Right, let's just try and get somewhere with this.
Right, okay.
Henry, invincible.
Yeah.
258 appearances, 175 goals. 4 Player of the Months. Seen as one of the greatest ever foreign players to play in the Premier League. Alan Shearer, greatest ever goal scorer. Top goal scorer, 260 goals. No one scored more than him. Won the got a Player of the Season in the season that he won the Premier League with Blackburn. Not many of you younger football fans may have known that. 3 Golden Boots as well. Cantona, 4 Premier Leagues. Wasn't around for too long in terms of the others compared to the others, I should say. Signed from Leeds, 1 Player of the Month. So I feel like Cantona can we kind of rule out?
Yeah.
Just because he wasn't around for as long as the others. Again, some people might have him in, and I would not disagree. But I just want to get this. I just feel like he won't make it.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, then we've got Aguero, 261 appearances, 180 goals, 7 Player of the Months, 4 Premier Leagues, Man City's top goal scorer of all time as well. So he, again, club legend, best striker ever for City. Wayne Rooney, 491 appearances, 208 goals, 103 assists, 5 Player of the Months. 1 Player of the Season, where in that season he played 32 times, 26 goals. Mental, 5 Premier Leagues, 1 goal of the month, and United's all-time top goal scorer with 253 goals.
This isn't going to be enjoyable.
I'm gonna before you say what you're going to say, I'm going to take the hit, I'm going to take the bullet, and I'll say Aguero can't make it. And I say this, right, because firstly, he's still around, he's still playing. That's props to he's in here, and he's still playing, and he's being argued against these calibre of players. But I feel like, firstly, he doesn't have the character, if you know what I mean, like as a player to get in to get in there ahead of someone who's the greatest ever scorer in the Prem, and then to compete with one of the greatest ever foreign players to play in the Premier League, and then Rooney, one of England's greatest ever players in recent times. I just feel like if he was maybe a bigger character, and maybe come the end of his career when his Premier League stats, are finished, and we can have a real look and analyse, he may have a better. But I feel like just at the minute, I feel like against the three others we've got, I feel like he just has to miss out on that top spot
Only
for me.
just, yeah.
And that's just to make it easier for us, for me.
Yeah, but nothing. It's hard.
It's really hard. Please, if you're watching this, try this, please. You'll understand the pain. Oh my God. Is there anyone else you could rule out, or are you thinking of maybe putting in, or have you got any idea who's your chosen one?
You see, I think my main two are Henri and Shearer. But then, no, obviously, it's hard to rule out Rooney. I think when you've got an unbelievable striker in Henri, who brought so much to that Arsenal invincible side, and then you've got the Premier League record goal scorer.
Yes,
it's hard. So Rooney's gone.
I feel like with Rooney as well, he can be kind of seen more as like a centre forward, kind of centre attacking mid role. That's kind of what he played. Not forget like the end of his career where he played like holding. I mean, like during his like prime, he wasn't the main striker. He was kind of like just behind the striker as well.
Yeah, because United had Van Persie during the season we won the league. I think it was after City did. Like Van Persie was the main striker. So
yeah, but that happened with a lot. Like Van Nistelrooy when he was there as well. Berbatov. I know he played behind Berbatov as well. Not like in terms of the pecking order. I mean, like in terms of the team. Like he played centre forward.
Yeah.
So Rooney goes again. Right. So this is now the tough part, because for me, it's weird to not pick the person who scored the most goals in that competition. But Henry is just different. Yeah. Just different in his own way.
Yeah.
Is there any of them you're leading towards, or are you seriously on the fence with this one?
See, the only reason... but then it's like, because you got Shearer, the leading goal scorer, who scored the most goals out of any single player.
And did win a Premier League. Let's just back that up as well. He actually did win one, to be fair to him.
Yeah. But then you've got Henry, who's won Premier Leagues, but he's won World Cup. He's won the World Cup with France as well. Do you bring that into it?
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, and he was just the main vocal point of the Arsenal team. It's like you think of Invincibles, Henry. Yeah. And as well, we've got to bear in mind, Dennis Bergkamp missed out in the top 5. Like, I could have easily substituted Cantona out and put Bergkamp in, which, looking back, I probably should have, but, Cantona got in there in the end. Bergkamp, again, deserves a massive shout-out. Oh, my word. What completely. A player. That goal against Newcastle, the one way he brought it down, did that spin, went around and then slotted it in. Oh, my days. Joke. Anyway, I don't know. I actually don't know. Because I'm weighing up both arguments, and I just... Because if Shearer maybe hadn't have won the Prem, Henry would be in. But the fact that he won the Prem and is the all-time top goal scorer.
Yeah.
He scored... But then... Or, this is just a suggestion, do we take out Beckham, put Ronaldo right wing, put Henry left wing, Shearer up top?
I would. I'd be happy to do that.
We're doing that. I'm going to do that.
There's just no... How someone, if someone has an explanation for who is better out of them,
in it,
let us know.
I knew this was going to be hard coming into this podcast,
we've not made it hard for ourselves, have we? We've not.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Honorary. Has he got... Right. Hold on, just making sure. I don't want to get these spellings wrong. Don't want to disrespect. Yeah, double R. Okay. So, okay, that's our team, right? Right. I feel like Beckham as well can get replaced as easily because, say, if he stuck around like Giggs and didn't leave the Prem, I feel like we'd just somehow have to leave Henry out.
Yeah.
But I feel like a 4-3-3 stitches over as well. I feel like a 4-4-2 might have been better. But then that's my fault. So, but I feel like Beckham can miss out. I don't feel too guilty about that because he did go on to other leagues.
Yeah.
And as well, the reason Ronaldo's in and he went to different leagues is he is recognised as one of the best players to ever grace the sport. Beckham isn't seen as that level. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. He was a great player and one of the best. But he's not seen as like Ronaldo as one of the best to ever play the sport. So, for me, that's why I'm not too, bothered about taking him out.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Right. It took us 1 hour and 17 minutes. But we've made it. We've done it. And we've got our starting 11. You can see it right there. It's opposite for me. I'm pointing at it now. There. I don't know why I'm pointing at it. It's clearly next to me, so I don't even know why I'm pointing at it. But I'll just go through it quickly. We've got Peter Schmeichel in goal, Gary Neville, John Terry, Vincent Kompany, Ashley Cole, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Patrick Vieira, Cristiano Ronaldo, Alan Shearer, and Thierry Henry. I'm happy with that. It sounds good to me.
I am as well.
We were going to do substitute bench, but it's gone to the episode's gone quite far, and I don't even want to try and make a subs bench because that'll just cause more confusion. And we were like, who goes in, who doesn't make it. What I'm going to do, I already know who the answer's going to be, but we might as well add it on. Manager, we'll have a manager. I feel like I know who we're going to pick, but I just want to shout out. Obviously, I know Ferguson will make it, but Arsene Wenger needs massive.
No, completely.
Obviously, like forget Guardiola and Mourinho and all that. Again, Mourinho, you can say the same for Wenger. They kind of petered off near the end. But I mean, like Guardiola again, he hasn't done it for long enough yet, but has like created one of the best ever sides in that the 100-point season that the Premier League seen since like the Uniteds and the Arsenals. But Arsene Wenger to go invincible and to change because he changed the way football was played. That like kind of 4-2-3-1, like the way many teams played for a while. He changed that.
Yeah.
He changed the face of football for a while, and I feel like he needs massive. Again, obviously, I think he stayed too long at Arsenal.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we're doing a greatest starting 11, I feel like the manager has to be included. So we will put in Sir Alex Ferguson. Again, United, but it's what it is, isn't it? Great manager, won everything. Stayed there for so long. Stay there for so long and keep and win things all the way through that. So like Arsene Wenger, he after like 2006, well basically when they moved to the Emirates, they didn't win anything. Yeah. But Ferguson, he just won he just kept winning.
Yeah.
If that's an FA Cup, a champion, anything, he won. So yeah, Ferguson makes the managerial position. If you have stayed till the end, thanks for watching. I've thoroughly enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah.
I enjoy looking, and especially the research. Actually looking at the players who I may not have really known much about, but who I've learned about now. If you're watching, make your starting 11. Tell me in the comments. I'd love to know. Subscribe, please. You get this podcast about. Share it to any mates or family members who might be interested. Just get it about if you can. Because see, hard times at the minute. Not actually doing what the channel is about, but we still get content out nonetheless. So make sure you subscribe, notifications on, like. Anything else to say? there'll be another episode. This will be uploaded Saturday, so there'll be another one like Wednesday, midweek next week. So look out for that. Thanks to Harvey for being the guest.
Thanks for having me on.
It's all right. Tough episode, probably the toughest one we'll have, but I enjoyed making it. Like I said, subscribe, get it shared about, let people know about the podcast, and I'll see you for the next one, which should be next week, midweek. And if you've got any suggestions for a topic, let me know. But enjoy the rest of your weekend, and make sure you check out the next podcast.